I'm currently travelling through Central America. Previously, I journeyed through paradise on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula.
Oh wow.
Everyone comes out, wow.
Wow.
And Belize's stunning islands.
The whole around me, it's 185 miles long from north to south.
I then took a cultural deep dive, crossing the breathtaking country of Guatemala.
Worth it.
In this series finale, I fly to my top bucket list destination, the natural paradise of Costa Rica, where I experienced the many grim lows.
So it's been 3 days, we're on day 3 and I think I'm going to be leaving tomorrow. And at the moment we're stuck in the jungle.
I mean, really there's nowhere safe in the rainforest.
But also extreme highs of backpacking.
Wow!
And hunt through the most biodiverse region on the planet.
So cross your fingers and open your eyes.
This is Costa Rica and Panama.
So I've left Bill, Cam, Maddie and Tash as they've gone off on their Costa Rica Intrepid tour, and I've moved area to meet up with people I'm doing turtle conservation with, and this area is so much nicer. Definitely seen a better side to San Jose. Like last night we were forced to have a McDonald's just because there was nothing else, whereas here there's so many cafes and restaurants. It's more of a hippie area, I'd say. Same kind of prices though, so looking forward to just seeing a better side of San Jose. I think this is actually the first train track I've seen in Central America. So I've always wanted to come to Costa Rica, and when I landed I was pretty disappointed with the neighbourhood I was staying in San Jose, but here since I've moved it's so much nicer in Barrio Escalante, and what I really wanted to do was to just get away from social media to some remote location and volunteer, and I thought what better place to do that than here. So I'm going to be spending a week volunteering on a deserted island in Tortuego National Park, which is famous for its turtles, so I'm going to be doing some turtle conservation, completely cut off, and experiencing this pura vida, which is famous in Costa Rica, pure life. So I'm really looking forward to it. I have really high expectations of Costa Rica, and so far, well, this neighbourhood anyway is definitely matching up to it. So let's go and enjoy this detached social detox week.
Unfortunately, the map I just showed you looked nothing like our actual route. But in all honesty, I have absolutely no idea how we got to the Turtle Conservation Project. We took a local bus with no other tourists on 2 hours towards the coast, and then were told to jump off by the side of the main road, where we were met by a taxi driver who did not speak a word of English, shouting turtles at us.
I don't think this taxi's really passed the health and safety checks. We got the petrol tank and then we've got an engine. Yeah, we're thinking the engine for the boat that we need to get to the camp or wherever it is. Honestly, we could be going anywhere now. We would not have a clue.
To our surprise, the taxi driver dropped us off at a tiny pizza restaurant by the side of a road. We were there for about 2 hours before another van eventually arrived, and off we went again.
Right, we're at the dock. Could we call it a dock?
No.
The river?
It's a lower entrance to a river.
Well, it looks like we're here.
Wherever there is.
Aquí?
See?
That's the boat.
I love this.
I mean, these are definitely crocodile infested waters as well. Right, it's just us two and the Costa Rican jungle and croc infested waters. They should be alright.
And David.
And David. And David and his friend who randomly jumped in our car.
We don't know his name yet.
No. Are there crocodiles?
Maybe.
This is it then. So we've arrived at the room. It's not actually that bad. There is an electricity port in the scenes if that works. This is the bathroom. So you walk in and you just see a urinal already. Toilets with some doors, but it's the showers that are the main issue as well. It's literally just a pipe. Lovely sink. What do you think?
It's that's a shower. It's a drain pipe, isn't it?
And on the website it says Western style showers. These are definitely not Western style. It's kind of what you expect, but it's just very draining after a while. We are literally in the middle of nowhere. You can literally see for miles that way. It's just endless black beach and waves in there.
It's fucking ridiculous. I think it goes in further that way.
So this is the hatchery where I guess we put the eggs.
So leatherbacks here are vulnerable, which means that their numbers are decreasing, but not in a dramatic way. Whereas hawksbills, catbridges and leatherbacks on the Pacific coast, their numbers are decreasing at a rate where they're at the risk of extinction. This is a real issue, and obviously we're here to try and reverse that and try and increase the number of sea turtles locally. So here we have an egg bag. It's just a plastic bag that we're going to use to directly collect the eggs. So we're going to put this under the cloaca, which is like the tail, that's where she's going to lay from, and then she'll lay straight into the bag.
So this is where we eat our meals, which of course are pretty basic. So like rice and beans is quite a lot, which is the national dish of Costa Rica. And also these noodles, which are served with ketchup, out of all sources, ketchup with noodles. Interesting. Yeah, and then also behind me, this is where we see our patrol for the night. Who's on patrol and who's on hatchery. So patrol is where you go up and down the beach, 5 kilometres there, 5 back, and see if you can find some turtles before the poachers. And then hatchery is where you basically stand by the hatchery, of course, and just watch the eggs from predators and poachers. So we were up until about 2 AM last night just walking along this black beach, but you couldn't see anything because there was no moonlight, and also we only saw 1 turtle, which I guess is pretty good, but it had already been poached. The eggs had already been poached, which is quite sad. But there's so many poachers along the beach that to actually get to a turtle first is hard in the first place, and let alone walking 10 kilometres in the dark along a beach, it just makes it so much worse. So I struggled last night a bit, especially with all the bugs and mosquitoes. There's currently a bat under the bed down there as well, which is quite concerning, and just loads of other bugs. So yeah, it's going to be a long 6 days, but it's mentally challenging. Whether I can get over it or not, I hope so. I want to go home when I'm meant to finish and not finish early.
Do beach monitoring, so that's the main job we have here, where we're patrolling the beach at night to look for nesting females, and we take the eggs to try and save them within the hatchery.
It's quite bizarre because any of the people you walk past on this beach could be poachers at night. They're just kind of normal people who just basically need the turtle eggs to make a living. So they'll strike up a conversation with you and are nice people, but come night they steal their endangered species eggs.
We have community involvement involvement. So we get local guides, some maybe ex-poachers to come in and patrol the beach with us to try and save the eggs. So we are paying them. So rather than getting their money from poaching and eggs, they're getting their money from conservation.
Last night I was on hatchery duty, which is basically just looking over where the eggs have put, and now we have a few in there. There were 69 eggs laid last night just by the one turtle, so we got there before the poachers, which is good. So we did actually have something to look over, whereas previous nights they've not had much success. The poachers have got there first. So yeah, that's the first eggs of the turtle season, which is quite good. So it's been 3 days, we're on day 3, and I think I'm going to be leaving tomorrow. It's just been so tough to deal with all the bugs, the heat, the humidity, and just not sleeping at night and also not eating enough. And I just thought, why do I stay here and not enjoy it when I can go up to the cloud forest in Monteverde and see that, which I wouldn't have had time to do anyway. So I'm leaving tomorrow early and heading up to Monteverde, which I'm really excited for. I've got so many bugs at the moment, so it might take me a week to just chill out again and refresh. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting out of here. It's an experience seeing the turtles and appreciating they are an endangered species, but there's just not much longer I can spend here. And this is more what travelling's all about, just playing volleyball on the beach with some random strangers in rural Costa Rica.
So off I went back on the 5-hour boat, taxi and bus journey back to San Jose again, and then off to the famous cloud forest of Monteverde. By sheer luck, I bumped into a guy who I recognised from the first hostel the week before, and he was also heading to the cloud forest. Monteverde is not only one of the most biodiverse places on the planet, but it is also home to lots of adventure activities, and we thought the first thing we'd do is check out the most famous one, ziplining.
I mean, I'm not like nervous, but I'm sure as like we go on, there'll be some big ones coming up. But I love the adrenaline, you know, so it should be good.
The longest zip line in Latin America.
That's quite close.
So this is the longest zip line in Latin America?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo! Wow.
This is insane.
But one of the most talked about things amongst backpackers in Monteverde is the Tarzan swing, which was the last activity we were just about to do.
How was that, do you think? Do you enjoy it?
No, I didn't. I
Hated it.
I think it's like kind of like a bungee jump. Yeah.
I don't know, it's scary.
Oh.
Oh my god. I'm not looking down. I refuse to. You lot can look down. I am not looking down.
My 9-year-old just did it though.
Really?
I have
Oh,
to
then yeah.
You step off and then swing out.
Okay.
I know you.
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, a little bit more nervous now.
Yeah.
That was the best one there, yeah.
Was
that was
it?
killer, man. We just, yes, senor. You're welcome.
Your scream was brilliant.
Had to be done, you know, but when we stepped off it was like, that was the one, that was the one.
So we've come up to the Monteverde cloud forest for the day, which is like one of the best things to do in Costa Rica. The cloud forest is only like one of a couple in Costa Rica and the world really. So yeah, looking forward to it. But it's not got off to the best start with like long queue in reception with one person on the desk. And also the hanging bridge is closed, which is what it's kind of famous for, but they only told us that after we'd paid. So not ideal, but hey, let's hope we see lots of nature, because yet again, this is one of the most biodiverse places in the world.
As the entrance fee was already expensive, we didn't pay the extra money to hire a guide, as we just assumed there would be wildlife everywhere in one of the most biodiverse places in the world.
Is this the waterfall? Calling it a waterfall is quite polite. These stairs go on forever. When you see your first bit of wildlife in, what, an hour? You just got to take a photo of it, haven't you? So we ended up climbing all of those stairs for basically nothing. There was no view. Now we're going straight back down a slippery slope again. Pretty demoralising. Is there anything good up there?
It's the like viewpoint for like the clouds all rolling over the top.
Okay.
It's quite nice.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Right, we might go there then. Right, nice, cheers. So this is probably the best view we've seen. It's insane, like the endless jungle going over the hills, to be fair.
And just when our spirits couldn't get lower, we bumped into some tourists that had basically seen everything there was to see.
What did you spot?
Quetzal, that's the very rare bird that everyone's trying to spot
Oh, right.
here. It's pretty big and has a bluish, dark, blue and red feathers. Yeah.
Which trail did you go from? The
Sendero Camino, I think it was.
I think that's the one we did, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I saw you on the phone. And yeah, we saw a venomous viper up in the tree. Supposedly the most venomous animal they have here in the park. It's a green snake that eats birds. You can't ever spot it. The camouflage is too perfect. But they spot it, the guides know how to spot it, because whenever it climbs a tree, all the birds will go away from the tree.
Oh yeah.
So
We need to find a guide.
So we were pretty disappointed to find out that not only did you need a guide, but you'd have to look through a telescope, and even then it would be difficult to see some of the animals.
Oh,
Where?
now you can see the pattern.
I still can't see it.
Where the crisscross grid design is.
Oh, like there?
That is
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. That's the bit you get.
Really?
And we were determined to see some wildlife. So that night we booked on to the night tour, which took place just outside of Monteverde, and thankfully our luck changed drastically.
My name is Scorpian from Monteverde, Costa Rica, and I will be your guide for around almost hour and a half or 2 hours. And look at that, there is a porcupine right there. Everybody see it? Okay, the white color is their face. They have a prehensile tail, like monkeys. That frog, the red-eyed frog that we saw, that was a female. The poisonous frog that we have in Costa Rica are dangerous for you only when they make contact with your blood.
I wish they would have told me. I've been checking my shoes a lot.
Are all 14 venomous?
All of them are venomous, but not deadly.
Are any deadly?
Not deadly. Only if you are allergic.
How did he find that?
I hear the light. The glowing luminous light.
You literally can't see it at all.
With this fall. Don't move your legs, por favor. You can move a little bit forward, señorita, por favor. Oh!
Wow.
Yes.
What? Oh, yes.
Okay, this, my friend, I told you.
That's a good find. It's more like it.
I loved that reaction to that. Oh, it's moving.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Go around, chicos, so I can help you.
Okay, you go ahead. I'll go ahead.
You go.
Slowly, walk slowly.
Slowly. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, remember 54 different species of tarantulas we have in Costa Rica. All of them are venomous, but not deadly. Tarantulas, they have enemies like raccoon. Raccoon eat them. But the number one enemy for tarantulas is a big wasp. Tarantula wasp. The wasp sting the tarantulas and lays one egg inside. Later of that egg, but a caterpillar. The caterpillar eat the tarantula from inside.
Oh, the ants, yeah.
It's like millions of ants.
Keep your eyes open. Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh, chacarrón, you see it?
Oh, the size of it.
Wow.
Don't move your legs, por favor.
Don't move your legs. Oh my gosh.
That's like 3 times bigger than
That is a big one.
That is absolutely massive.
That is big.
That's stuff you have nightmares about that.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
So they're that venomous, 2 to 3 hours to get to the hospital.
Oh, look at it moving its tongue.
Well, that more than made up for this morning's performance. So the night hike last night started really slowly, and I was worried it would be one of those where you see snakes from ages away and you may as well just look at them on TV for a better view. But it picked up. We saw a scorpion, I think first, then a tarantula, then a couple of snakes, which was my first time seeing them in the wild. So that was insane. But the highlight was definitely that massive spider. Oh, it freaked me out just looking at it. Anyway, today I'm just going to have a chilled one. It's been very hectic the last few days, but I'm so glad I left the turtle conservation project in the end. I've had a great time in Monteverde. Very expensive compared to the average Latin American price. For example, 12 quid for a pizza, which is quite a lot. But yeah, I'm just going to chill today and then head south towards Manuel Antonio on the Pacific coast tomorrow with the people from Guatemala, so Tash, Campbell and Maddie, which I'm really looking forward to before heading into Panama. So yeah, let's get on with the final leg of the trip, which is quite sad, but excited for it. So we've just stopped on a bridge on the way to Monteverde, and they actually have crocodiles underneath this bridge. We just thought the tour guide was saying go check out the bridge, but no, there's so many crocodiles. Freaks me out. I hope it's a strong bridge. The head of that one is just huge. Well, I much prefer having a cat on my bed than a bat under my bed, so you know what, I'll take that. The main reason for Manuel Antonio's popularity is the national park there, located right next to the beach. Despite being the smallest national park in Costa Rica, it is known as one of the most biodiverse places in the world, with 109 species of mammal and 184 species of bird. So surely we had to see something. But as the guides were so expensive, we went solo there in the hope of being more successful than Monteverde National Park. Apparently, it's hard not to see anything. So let's put that to the test. So if I've learned anything, you've got to look to the top trees. But I don't see much yet. Well, it's not been a successful first 3 minutes. How do you feel you've seen your first toucan?
A bit pissed off about the lighting.
So colourful, isn't it? So it's got a yellow neck and a red tail.
That, when the main tongue splits into two, they like to sit in that wee fork bit.
What's this, something like this?
Yeah.
Right.
Because then they can lean back.
Yeah. I really want to see a sloth.
Sloth trail. Sloth trail.
Come on, sloth. I cannot see anything.
get to the other side.
Is it the other side? What is it?
It's a sloth.
Is it a sloth? I'm truly pranked. How can they see it literally from there?
Because it'll be like above that tree.
Yeah.
I know there's a sloth there. Does that count as seeing one? That definitely looks like a chicken to me. What is that? It's just a big duck, isn't it? So sloths feed on the leaves of trees which have little energetic value and make their metabolism slow, as well as the sloth's movements. They are brown in colour, though in some exceptions a dark green can be spotted in its fur, which is caused by algae. Its mouth is long as its cousins. The two-toed sloth has a nocturnal habits, though it can sometimes be seen active during the day. Oh, so they sleep, the sloths, in the day. They're nocturnal, the sloths. We heard all this noise from like a 10-minute walk away, didn't we? What is it that's here? Oh, it's a gift shop, isn't it? And a cafe. Well, if I was a sloth, I wouldn't be hanging around near here. So we've come to the beach. Wow. So we're on the thin bit of like a whale's tail at the moment. So the gap between both sides of the sea is tiny. And we're about to climb up onto the whale's tail, like the thicker part. So hopefully see a sloth. So now we're climbing up onto the whale's tail. It's a lot quieter up here than back there.
I know.
Some more white-faced monkeys that we saw yesterday.
Hmm?
There are loads of white-faced ones here though.
I know.
It's insane how they climb on like tiny little branches. Look at that.
They're all moving to like this
And
branch.
swing around. It's so easy to spot because they make such a big noise in the tree. So it's not whale watching season, but apparently this is quite a good point to do it. What is it that you've seen?
Toucan.
Oh, toucan. What? Oh yeah. Hello. Get in. Hello. Get you from there. Insane, isn't it? So it is a decent national park, to be fair. I thought there'd be many more other types of wildlife apart from toucans and monkeys, but you can't complain, can you? And it's so funny just sitting there and watching a monkey climb about the trees. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a monkey in the wild before, and now I've seen, what, about 50 today? It's such warm water.
But just as all hope was lost, we heard cries of a sloth.
Is this the sloth?
Sometimes we see pet cries, we see why not sloth.
Whereabouts? Can you see it?
I can't see it.
You can just see through the scope.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, just to show you.
It's see that bit
There.
just behind it.
That's it, innit?
Wow. Okay. So it's not really good. Nice.
That's it though.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, so if that counts as seeing a sloth, well, there we go. Manuel Antonio tick.
So as I left the park without seeing a sloth properly, I was pretty disappointed, but then I was walking down the hill for dinner and I saw something block the light above my head.
It's actually insane how I'm just walking along the road to dinner and there's a sloth crossing the road. Just why can't that happen in England? Some insane animal cross the road. So overall, I've really enjoyed Manuel Antonio. It's probably been my favourite place in Costa Rica. It's got loads of decent restaurants and only a 30p bus journey down to the beach, where there's loads and loads going on. I've also really enjoyed this hostel. The view behind me is just the best I've stayed at any hostel in the world. And also there's air conditioning in the rooms, and the sunset here is just insane. And also in Manuel Antonio, how you can just walk down the street and there's sloths crossing the road, there's monkeys jumping about, there's iguanas, there's raccoons. It's amazing. There's so many animals just dotted about. I wish it was like that at home and not just some rats or pigeons. Anyway, yeah, off to Avita today with Bill, Maddie, Tash and Cam, which we're looking forward to. It's also meant to be a decent hostel, plenty of waterfalls around, not that much expectation of it, but yeah, looking forward to the 1 hour trip down the coast. What do you think of the sunset, Bill?
Start out slow. Stunning colours in the middle. Standing in a deep, deep red. Hard to imagine it's Mordor.
Coming next week, I travelled to Avita, staying in an eco lodge in the jungle.
That was probably the loudest bang of thunder I've ever heard.
Before setting off on a day trip to the most biodiverse place on planet Earth, Corcovado National Park.
So also here we have like about 2.5% of the worldwide biodiversity.
I'll then take a 16-hour bus journey to my final destination, Panama City.
How stressful was that?
So stressful.
Where I'll show you around one of the most diverse cities on the planet.
Is there anything that this city doesn't have?
Including the world-famous Panama Canal. I'll then review my trip overall and give you all of my travelling tips from Central America.